I was tired of looking at this ugly door with gold trim that just screamed the 70s. I started by sanding the window trim, wiping it clean, and masking off the glass with brown paper and painter's tape. I applied 2 coats of black spray paint to the trim and used a bit of paint thinner to clean up any minor overspray. To prep the rest of the door, I scuffed the surface with sandpaper and did a deep clean with TSP to ensure the new finish would stick. Using a brush for the edges and a small roller for the flat surfaces, I applied 2 coats of white latex paint. To really pull the look together, I replaced the bottom weather stripping and swapped out the dated gold hinges, handle, and lock for sleek black hardware. Finally, I used a razor blade to scrape any stray paint off the glass for a crisp, professional finish. It's amazing how much money you can save by choosing paint over a total replacement, and I hope this inspires you to tackle your own dated doors.
Upgrading your door hardware is not as hard as it looks, and it makes a huge impact. Using a hex key, remove the handle. Remove the screws to remove the handles on both sides. Reverse the steps to install a new doorknob. Insert the spindle through the latch assembly hole, and then slide the inside handle over the spindle and secure it with screws. Then tighten the handle with the hex key. Next up is replacing the deadbolt. This process is similar to the door handle. On to removing and replacing the strike plate on the door frame. If your new strike plate is a different size, you may need to chisel a little of the wood frame out. Remove the screws from the entry latch and pull it out. Then replace the strike plate on the door frame. If your holes are too big, use toothpicks to fill the holes before securing the plate with screws. Finally, I'm replacing the old weather stripping around the door to keep air and pests out. Start by measuring the top of the frame. Transfer the measurement to the weather stripping and cut with scissors. Now, gently insert the ridged side into the channel of the door frame. Repeat on both sides of the door, and you're done. That's it. I hope this encourages you to complete these simple DIY tasks like upgrading your front door.
I wanted to bring a bit of floral springtime to my doorway, and here's how I did it in under an hour and for less than $10. I took these floral decals and placed them along the side of the door frame. I cut the decal at the point where the decal touched the frame and repositioned it onto the frame itself. This way, when looking at the doorway straight on, the flower would still look like it was completely intact and simply growing over the door frame. I cut it with a razor blade, and when I repositioned it, I made sure to press it into the grooves of my decorative frame. I continued up along the door frame, making sure to wrap the flowers over the right top corner so that it looked like the flowers wrapped around the doorway. They clung easily to the wall, even though my wall is very highly textured, and they clung to the frame itself as well. I added a bit more of the flowers along that right corner to make sure it looked nice and filled out. I also overlapped some of the decals so that it looked a little more three-dimensional, as flowers would typically overlap each other when you're looking at a flower bush straight on. After that, I added a few leaf decals sparingly. The great thing about this project is that the decals could be removed easily, making it simple to reposition them as needed, and also making it ideal as a temporary project, whether that means that I only want them here for the season, or if someone lives in a rental and wants to be able to add decor temporarily, but retain the ability to remove them when they move. I hope this inspires you to test out and layer some floral decals of your own and bring nature into your room. One of the things I love is the use of wood beams in design, but it would be too expensive and difficult to install wood beams in this condo. So we're going to create faux wood beams instead. I purchased wood from Lowe's. I used 1x6s and 1x4s. I started by staining the wood to the color that I felt would work in my space. Be sure to stain the front and also the sides. You can choose to distress your wood prior to this step if that's the look you like. Once everything was stained and dry, I needed to measure the height that I needed for the wood. I set some LVP flooring pieces in place because that's the kind of flooring we're going to use here, and I wanted to make sure that I cut the height of the wood to what I needed once the flooring was there. Once the wood was cut to the proper length, I started by attaching the 6-inch wide piece along the inside frame of the doorway. The next step was to attach the 1x4 board, making sure that it overlapped the 6-inch board and made for a really nice corner. I repeated this on the other side, and then I was ready to work on the center area. I didn't want to measure and cut this piece until the sides were in place, so that I would have an accurate measurement. Once that was in place, again using the nail gun, the last step was to place the final piece along the top border. I made sure to cut that piece to meet the outer edges of the side pieces, so that way everything lines up and looks seamless. I love the way this easy project upgraded this hallway. It looks like there are wood beams here, while really it was just under $100 in materials and just a few hours of work.
I'd like to be able to open my back door without letting the bugs in, but what I need to do is measure the door, come up with 33 inches, and go pick up some window screen from my hardware store. First thing I gotta do, open up the packaging, and then I'm gonna lay it out. It's 80 inches long, and as it's 36 inches, I want to cut it right down the middle. So I'm going to cut it at the 18-inch mark. First thing I want to do also is lay out a straight board that I can cut across. I'm going to use a razor blade. You can use a pair of scissors. I'm using a razor blade on this one, and I know what you're thinking. He's cutting right through the table. But don't worry, this is one of my work tables. I can just go ahead and slice right through it. Once I get that screen cut, I'm going to separate them. Then I'm going to grab some Velcro. This is a 24-inch strip, and what I'm going to do is lay it out because it comes separated, and I'm going to put the two halves together. This kind of Velcro is sticky on both sides with paper that keeps it in. So once I get it all laid out, then I got to measure it. I think I need about good 8 strips, so I'm going to cut these at 3 inches apiece. Go ahead and go down and mark it at the 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21-inch mark. That's going to give me 8 good strips. I'm going to go ahead and cut those by keeping them together. I want each one of these to match up with each other. Once I get them cut, the next thing I got to do is go ahead and place them along the screen on one half where I want to lay them out. It's going to be about every foot or so, maybe a little bit less. The first thing also after that is to peel the backing off one side of the Velcro, and I'm going to place it right next to the edge on one side of the screens, about a couple inches down from the top and the bottom. I'm going to place all 8 strips along the screen. Once I get that done, I'm going to go ahead and peel the backing off of the strips. Take the other screen that I have and fold it in half. It's easier to work when it's halfway folded. Then I'm going to place it right where it needs to go. Press down hard. I want this to adhere to the sticky part of the Velcro. Once I get that first half done, I'm going to go ahead and lay it down and get it all secured on the other side. Again, just some good pressure. Gives me some good overlap, and it's sticking together really nice. Next step is I got to secure it to the door. So what I'm going to use is some pins, and they've got a nice head on there, and it's going to give it some security. So I'm going to put those into the door trim on the outside. Don't need to put too many, but just enough to make sure it stays secure. Now, I do have some overlap on the sides. You could fold those over to give it some extra strength, but I think it's going to hold up just great. Now, look at this. I've got this screen on. I can, if I need to, open my door, open the screens. It's not hard to go out of. And in the afternoon or early morning, I can open it up, keep the bugs out, and let the nice cool air in. It doesn't take much to put it together. And also, if I need to, I can open it up with some Velcro or some twine and hold it together. I hope you enjoyed this DIY screen door project as much as I did. Thank you for watching Home Talk, and we'll catch you next time.